All right, so there's been a lot of he said about whether the White House or the Navy was responsible for trying to hide the presence of the USS John McCain during the president's Memorial Day visit to Japan. Well, this is what Rear Admiral Charlie Brown, not making that upset about it. A request was made to the US Navy to minimize the visibility of the USS John McCain. However, all ships remain in their normal configuration during the president's visit. So that is a Rear Admiral saying, listen, the White House told us that we should hide the name of it. We didn't move the ship, we didn't do anything like that, but there was a request from the White House. The president says he didn't know anything about it. There was denial for a while. But this weekend on Meet the Press, the president's acting chief of staff, White House chief of staff Mick Mulvaney sat down with Chuck Todd, who pressed him and asked him, are you confident it's no one on your team that made the request to the Navy? Take a look.
Oh no, I absolutely believe it was probably somebody in the advanced team.
It was on your team.
Is
there any consequences for this?
I'll answer your question. An advanced team is hundreds of people. You know this better than me. You've been overseas as the President of the United States. The fact that some 23 or 24-year-old person on the advanced team went to that site and said, oh my goodness, there's the John McCain. We all know how the President feels about the former senator. Maybe that's not the best backdrop. Can somebody look into moving it? That's not an unreasonable thing to
Seriously?
ask. It's not, and it's certainly
not an unreasonable thing.
It's not an unreasonable thing to ask. You saw that clip, what'd you think?
It's like the same, wait, seriously?
Yeah, Chuck Todd.
Yeah.
Just like.
It's the same reaction I think everybody else is, wait, it's not, wait, what? Wait,
So Mick Mulvaney, first of all, talking about an advanced team, that's just the people that are responsible for going to a site where the president's gonna be and saying like, this is where we're gonna set up, this is where everything's gonna happen. But what Mick Mulvaney is saying is it's not unreasonable for a 23-year-old, first of all, that's kind of weird to be like these young idiots.
Exactly.
It's not us, the old guys in charge, it's the 23-year-old. It's not unreasonable for them to say, let's move the USS John McCain. Right? But the reason that that's not an unreasonable thing is because the president is unreasonable. That's the problem. That's what I have trouble with. Like the president found out about Mick Mulvaney giving this talk on Meet the Press, and he was very mad. Here's our artist's rendering of how the president treated Mick Mulvaney. I'm sorry.
You are out of control.
It's just that Mick Mulvaney looks so much with his little glasses, like that guy from Raiders of the Lost Ark that has the little glasses. It's the same. Did he watch that movie and go like that's the glasses I'm getting because I have the same perfectly round head?
The way your brain works.
I would also like to thank the person, the fan.
Oh my gosh, I can't.
It's the same guy. We can make it so that we have the side by side of Mick Mulvaney in the video. But essentially, I want to do, and speaking of weird, I want to thank the viewer who sent John a nerd jar and me a weird jar.
Clearly.
I don't know who it was. We'll have John clear it. He just put it on my desk. But essentially, when John's nerdy or I'm weird, we put a quarter in the nerd and weird jar. And I had to put a quarter in the weird jar today because you said you literally said this is so weird. But no, the interaction between Mulvaney and Chuck Todd continued. Here's the rest of it.
President's feelings towards the former senator are well known. They're well known throughout the office. They're well known in the media. But to think you're going to get fired over this is silly. If you're going to a staff meeting and say, look, Chuck is fighting with so-and-so, let's not sit them together today at the meeting. Is that a fireable offense at NBC? Goodness gracious, what kind of place are you folks running over here?
Well, that's not, but you're asking me something that doesn't happen. This happened here.
This has now gotten 2 minutes of time on Sunday afternoon. And this is just outrageous.
All right.
It's
more outrageous that it happened, not that you're talking about it. And guess what? In a professional setting, there should never be a discussion of these two aren't getting along. Let's just not sit them together. They're not getting along. Like that's not like there's no serious issue. They're just like that. This is what happens at daycare when you don't want the 2-year-old bad kid to bite the other one.
And one of them is dead.
Right.
One of these people died.
That is something else that I pointed out this morning. Like they keep referring to him as former senator. Like he was formerly alive. Like I think that it makes the sentence worse. Like if someone says the late senator, like everyone knows, think about it, 2 sentences, right? I'm gonna give you one. Everyone knows how the president feels about the former senator. Everybody knows how the president feels about the late senator. The second one is weird.
Yes. And listen, war hawk or no war hawk, I hope to God there is never a USS Donald Trump. But if there is, I wonder how many people will be like proud to serve on it.
This would be the Fred Trump, also because this is not even named after him.
It's now like, I think it originally was named after his
grandpa, right?
Grandpa, and then now I think it's him.
It's like
I don't
their
remember.
family, is that how it works? Okay.
But Patrick Shanahan, who's the acting defense secretary, said, our business is to run military operations and not become politicized. I would not have moved the ship. That is happening. There's also like these internal dramas and back and forth of people trying not to politicize the actual armed forces. That I think is a really interesting discussion at this point, because it's the confluence of an advanced team who has to show up and be like, all right, let's not embarrass ourselves any more than we absolutely have to.
Right.
But in having to cover it up, he already lost this because he feels the need to cover it up because the president has lost his marbles.
Here on the Damage Report, we talk a lot about the big banks and their ways of getting rich off the poor. They saturate the market, but there are other options. And I've got info on a socially and environmentally responsible financial institution that has no ATM fees, gives you cash back on every purchase. They even commit 10% of their earnings to charity. It's called Aspiration, and if you go to aspiration.com/TYT to sign up, you'll get these perks, and that's more money to spend or to save or to spend. Just treat yourself.